What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Gamepass Live podcast, where each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday we discuss all things games, talking about that gaming shit as we usually do. I'm one of your hosts, Jerrell. With me is my pirate, my pirate Arthur Thomas. I don't know what the fuck to say. That's not clever. That's clever. What's up, man? How you doing?
My pirate Arthur. Like
Yar. Oh, there you go. There you
Man,
go.
there you go,
See, church
bro.
knows what's going on. See, my segment's gonna be trash today, bro.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, man. I'm growing out my hair. I'm growing my hair. I've never done that before, so I'm trying it out. And yeah, since I have long hair now, or longish hair with glasses, yeah, I'm trying to keep it on my face with this bandana I got for like $1, like fucking CVS like years ago, and I've been keeping it with me. So it's been coming in very handy.
And the man with no face, if you were watching the video, what's going on, church? How you doing?
No face, no case. I'm doing good, brother. I appreciate it. It feels good to come back. You know, we had a bye week last week, and now we're back. So I think it's a light news on the gaming side, but it feels good. Been playing a lot of, damn, I call it ZZZ, but I think it's Zenless. Zen Zero is the name of
Zenless Zone Zero.
Zenless Zone Zero.
Don't call me on that.
Yeah, that gotcha game. So that's been taking the majority of my gaming time, but it's been kind of fun. It's been a joy to watch, I can say at the very least. So
Nice. That alliteration's pretty wild.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we have some interesting things here to talk about on the show. It's not super game heavy, but it's things around the gaming business, and then just a few other games that we're going to talk about on the show.
We're talking about us. God damn it! Now we've been, I don't know, because we've been, like I said, we've been playing some games. We were talking before the pod, and we were like news heavy. Like, I don't know about news. I just been doing my hawk girl shit, and church was doing the same. So, we had a bye week last week. As always, we do tend to have bye weeks. As a reminder, as I interrupt with Drell's housekeeping here, is again, we got lives, and sometimes fan bam stuff comes up and live comes up. We're like, yeah, see you guys next Sunday. You do you. See you then.
No one's making money from this, so just fuck off and enjoy the show, guys.
What he's saying is, fuck off, enjoy the show. Please subscribe, because we do this for free.
Yeah, please subscribe. Speaking of that, you should subscribe if you're watching this. Hello, you are one of the real ones. Subscribe to the channel so you can check out Arthur's gaming streams that he does on the channel. He does some stuff on Twitch too. That's Xbox, right? That you do that through?
Yeah. So as right now, yeah, moving forward, anything PS5, anything PS5 will be YouTube. Anything Xbox streaming will be Twitch. And for reasons we'll get into very soon, don't expect too much coming on the Twitch from the Xbox streaming. Don't hold your breath for any Xbox streaming in the moment.
Okay. Well, and if you just prefer to listen, of course, you can subscribe on wherever you find your podcast, wherever you prefer to listen, of course. And everything else is going to be linktree.com/gamers for life, the number 4 life. And then for the YouTube, just as a heads up, G4L podcast. That's going to be at G4L, the letters G, the number 4, letter L. G4L podcast. That's how you're going to be able to find us there. So, and here at the Gamers for Life podcast, you can read the news or watch or listen what you choose by clicking on the links of the time code within the description of the episode. So you can go to whatever section that you want to listen to most or watch most on the show, or you can just hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. And as we've been away, there's been a couple of games some of these folks have been playing. We'll start with Arthur, who came in hot off of the game that he's been streaming recently, and just excited to talk about, which is Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. Go ahead and take it away, Arthur. What's up with this game?
Well, first off, I never come in cold. Let's just start it off there. But dude, Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. Name a single player RPG you like. This has an element of that and combines it all so goddamn well. It has aging mechanics from Fable. It has massive like a world map, like a Civilizations game. There's strategy like Civilizations, but all the army battles are live, like in the moment, like an RTS game, like Age of Empires, Age of Mythology. The There's economy in the game. You can marry your people. So I mentioned time. So the point of the game, not the point of the game, but one key element of the game is your character will die either in battle or from old age. So when your character dies, your son, your daughter, your kids, your nephews, a family member, your siblings will become the new playable character to live on your legacy, to live on your empire. I haven't experienced that yet, but I've done a lot of Googling, and it's like, holy shit, like, that's why I found out, like, because early in the game they tell you when you first start your playthrough, do you want aging on? I'm like, if it's default off, let me take the vanilla experience. And I did a lot of Googling. I'm like, oh shit, you can die and you can become your kid. You can play as your heir. So Jerrell, first off, to let you know, I am continuing my age-old tradition. The world one will once again fear at the name Artis Fartis. And you have to make a clan name. And my buddy Average Asian was on stream. I couldn't think of a clan name that would link to Artis Fartis, and he came up clutch. I am Artis Fartis of the Shartis clan. So I just find it hilarious every time I meet a king or a noble or a lady, and it's like, I haven't heard of you, and it's like, I am Artis Fartis of clan Shartis. And it's like, chef's kiss.
Let me just add an asterisk. Average Asian is Victor, who's been on the show, so he's not just saying an average Asian.
No. Though it is funny because every time I play someone with him, like I think when we played Helldivers together, we did Rendo join, and Rendo was like, hey, an Asian, and we're like, that's not racist, that's just his gamer tag. But yeah, man, I'm hooked. I think one of the biggest and best components of this game are the battles. Like, holy shit, if you ever truly want to experience a game that is like the Lord of the Rings, massive scale battles, this is the game. And it's not like it's a representation where like, oh, I have an army of 100. They have an army of 1,300. Well, it's like pieces moving on the board, and the pieces have a little animation like a Pokemon battle, and everyone falls. No, holy shit, no. I did a hard save, and I'm like, you know what? I'm outnumbered quite a lot. Let me just do a hard save and start this battle. And almost immediately, this hill in the horizon just gets overtaken by a fucking army of horses coming at me at like 1,000+ strong. And I'm so glad this is on console, because it's like, the joke is like, people watching this without context are like, holy shit, my PC would be set on fire. And this is like, these are considered medium scale battles. Like at high level, it's like 1,000 versus 1,000. It's like massive battles. You can have your different troop types. You have your infantry, your archers, your cavalry archers. You can hybrid, mix them up. You can do different formations. Do you want them loose? Do you want them tight for a shield wall? Do you want them to charge on, head fast? Do you want to march at a pace with shields up? There's an economy to this game. So let's say I go to town and I have a ton of grapes on me, and I sell them grapes. Well, like supply and demand, the more grapes I sell, the least valuable they become. So if you really want to play it smart, you would go to this town, sell some grapes here, go to that town, sell some grapes there, instead of selling them all in one spot. I can't speak enough about this game. Like today, my stream today was, I think, my favorite one yet, because so much shit happened. The other thing too about this game, unlike I would say unlike a Bethesda game, like unlike a Bethesda RPG, in fact, unlike most RPGs too, Jerrell Church, the map is live and the world happens around you. It's not like other RPGs where there's the world, you're the main character, it all revolves around you. No, like I align myself with the Britannians, which are like the faux British, and all of a sudden, we were declared war by the Northern Empire, and then the Vladians, which were like, I guess you can say the closest to like the Ottoman Empire. And then while they declared war on us, the Vikings declared war on us. They were like 3 fronts, and I was getting worried. I'm like, oh man, my playthrough might be fucked, because for reasons beyond my control, 3 countries are with war with us. We eventually make peace over there. We're still at war with them over here. So it's not like in Fallout where it's like, you can let the game in Fallout exist forever, but it's not like the Raider camp over here will ever invade the settlement, or like the Raider camp will take over that part of the map permanently. It just, it's a stagnant map. Not this game, man. It's there's politics involved. Like if I marry the daughter of the Viking king, then the Vikings won't be able to declare war on me. But if, let's say, that Viking king dies and his heir isn't as loyal to the daughter as he was, then they could declare war on me. It's just there's so much to this fucking game. There's so much to this game, and the battles, the battles keep me entertained every goddamn time. Every goddamn time, man. Like I said, 1,000. Like I was telling you guys before the pod here. Like I did my first siege battle today, and it's not like Dynasty Warriors where like, oh, in Dynasty Warriors is like 100 versus 100, but like it's like an anime where in Dynasty Warriors every time you swing your axe, like 20 people die. No, like if you're doing a siege battle and it's your 500 versus their 1,300, I fire my bow. Guess what? I kill one guy, and if you want to win this fight, there's a couple hundred more people to the single digit that you got to kill to win this fight. So I've never experienced a game like this in my life, and I'm already hooked. And I will say, I think the game for me, I'm experiencing it so much better because I'm playing on the PS5 instead of the Xbox. And I'll get to that as my pausing points. That's good. That was okay. I wanted to point out Church. I was like, oh, I have news Church is gonna like. I'm liking this game on the PS5 more than I would have enjoyed it on the Xbox.
Dang, that's a new thing, man. I mean, the PS5 is winning, I guess so. Like I thought I'd never hear that coming from Arthur. Like,
I know. First it was a Hellblade 2 machine. Now he's calling the system by its name. It's pretty wild.
No.
Yeah, I bought the PS5 for Helldivers 2. And then let it be known, Mountain Blade. At one point in time, Mountain Blade was both available through Game Pass and also available through PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm playing on my PS5 on PlayStation Plus Premium.
So before we dive into that, because that's obviously a whole other interesting thing to talk about. But kind of digging more into this game, so it's kind of interesting because this is who developed and published this game, Tail Worlds Entertainment, who is a Turkish developer and publisher, which is pretty cool. Just as far as for the style of the game, so it's a third person. Is it open world, or
it can be first person? Okay. So the battles, so the time where you're physically on foot or on horseback, I'm on horseback, it can be third person or first person. So there's one main open world, and the main open world looks like a civilizations map. It's like this empire's over here with this, there's this empire over here with the capital and then castles and villages. There's this empire over here with the capital, castle and villages. So, like I said, the map almost looks like a board game, like a fantasy board game of Risk, right? But you can zoom in to your character and watch your icon travel across the map. And that's where it's kind of like Civilizations. Some of the assets and the art style reminds me of Age of Empires. Like when I saw my first village icon, I'm like, holy shit, that's like a village icon from Age of Empires. Now, once you like enter a town, a village, or a battle, that's when it's no longer a map view. It becomes like a third person, first person fight, or a third person, first person you walking through the town. So that's what I'm saying. It's a little like Skyrim, where it aesthetic wise, it kind of looks like that, like the way Skyrim looks like once you're like first person, like in like you are your character. But I lost track, but that's kind of like the main two. There's two worlds to the game. There's the map overview, and then once you're doing your shit, you're like your first person, third person direct over your character or your army.
Nice. Any you have any questions for him, Church?
I mean, not right now. It's just I kind of want to get into the game myself. I know we talked about it previously, Arthur, before we recorded the podcast, and you kind of sold me on it too. It's like, well, in terms of the economy systems, in terms of like you can sell your product to a certain faction, but you won't get as much money over time. I thought that was a cool little detail, and definitely had some civilization aspect to it that I'm like excited for. And I kind of geek over that stuff because I like strategizing and planning or coming up with like systems in games or mechanics that I can develop myself, and then seeing how that plays out. It's that type of puzzle solving, with no like rails that I like to do in the games. Like you kind of got me on that, and I'll probably try to get as rich as I can. Like that's just kind of like the method I want to. But
yeah, and there's so much to the game I haven't tapped to. Like there's arena fights where you can join a tournament like you're a gladiator. You can have side businesses, like I own a winery. Like I own a winery. I have 4 caravans, one in each of the major nations. You can have companions run. You can have companions run your businesses for you. The family aspect isn't just you. Like my goddamn brother. My brother got married before me, so my brother has a wife, but I left her in this town where that town that got declared war on, and now she's been taken prisoner. So I can either go to war to fight her back, I can either ransom her, or I can enter the dungeon. Where I can enter that castle with a small crew and have them escape. So that family, it's not like this game is like main character syndrome. Like, no, you are a piece on the board. And how big of a piece you want to be is up to you. Where your piece moves is up to you. But like, yeah, like say if my brother has it, like I said, if my brother has kids before I do, but if my character dies, then my nephew or my niece can be my new playable character. Um, there's so fucking much this game. And Church, you're talking about strategies. Um, I will never not get tired of before every fight, you can choose your formation and tell them where to go and how, like, when to charge and who charges where. So my favorite thing to do is like send my infantry like shields up, walking at a slow pace, while my cavalry just hauls ass like around this big rock I just fought, and then charges in from the side, and it's just so fun. It feels like I said, it feels like almost every like medium to large scale fight is like every fight's like Lord of the Rings. Just telling your cavalry just go, and when you win a battle, all your guys start cheering. Yeah, whoa! There's like 1,000 NPCs just like hyped up. It's so fun, man.
Damn. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like these are really dope ideas and functions within the game. It's almost like kind of what like Elder Scrolls like maybe like was missing, right? As far as like the economy factor and like getting involved with the world in that particular era, growing rich, things of that nature. I know some other games have similar traits, but it's pretty smart to add that in that type of, because it seems like it's a period piece, obviously, but just to include all of that, within the game, so you're not just running around fighting, upgrading, and whatnot. Like, no, like there's a whole other fucking concept. So it's like taking Age of Empires like stuff, mixing it in with this Skyrim. I feel like there isn't a whole lot of games I feel like that are doing that, at least successfully. So that's really interesting. And this game came out 2 years ago. Like I thought this was like a super old game.
4 years ago.
4. Okay.
Yeah, this game
2 online.
Mounted Blade 2 Bannerlord first came out 4 years ago. It may have had a delayed console launch, but
Okay.
like all the videos I'm seeing are like posted 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Okay.
Either that or Jerrell, it may have been the thing where it was like in the like Sons of the Forest. It was like an alpha, like Grounded. It was an alpha for like 2 years. But every video I'm seeing is for 4 years. The one thing I will say that's kind of a downside of this game, FYI Church, if you play this game, you're gonna be doing a lot of Googling. This game is notorious for having the shittiest tutorials ever. Like how siege mechanics works, no idea. I didn't find out till I saved the game and joined a siege battle. How marriage works, no idea. I didn't find out till I saved the game and try to fucking marry somebody. There's so many mechanics, like you're just gonna have to Google. It just doesn't tell you.
Chat GPT or some AI. Okay, interesting. Well, I kind of want to dive. How do we want to do this? Do we want to dive further what you just said about PlayStation before Church talks about his game, or do you want to go in, Church, about your game?
Yeah, I could go into my game real quick.
Yeah.
His game has more titties than mine.
Yeah. So I was playing this Zenless Zero Zen or Zen Zero. I don't know. I call it ZZZ for short. It's a gacha game that came out by the I forget what company makes it.
They made the people that made Honkai Star Rail, which is
Yeah.
another pretty gacha game.
Right. And same thing with Genshin Impact, the same team. So this is my first gacha game, right? So I didn't know what to expect. What drew me in with, the bounce, the jiggle mechanics, like, oh, okay, this game is giving gamers what they want. Like they're going all in, like, okay, it's got my attention and it's free. Let's go for it. It kind of reminded me of like Dead or Alive, basically that, they committed to give us what we wanted in the game, and they do succeed on that front. I think that's a 10 out of 10. But what is the game itself? Like, what are you actually doing in the game? Because it's not a dating simulator. It's more of a combat DMC, Devil May Cry style type of game. And at first, it seems like the combat's really simple. And it is, but it has some depth in terms of tagging in your teammates to do combos. But other than that, you can kind of just get away hitting like 3 or 4 buttons And that's still satisfying to do just because it looks flashy, it feels great. The moves from each character is unique, and it has that, you know, diversity and smoothness that you want from this type of game. So it plays very well. Now, as a new player coming to the gotcha game, it's kind of overwhelming. It almost feels like its own genre, you know, in terms of like a strategy, an RPG, or a sports game. There's a lot of mechanics in terms of like, you know, how the loot system works and the pools that you have that, you know, I had to spend my time Googling and watching some YouTubers just to figure out like, how do I properly do this so I don't like fuck up my money? And I've been successful this far, so I'm not a free to play player. I spent $15 on the game. So I bought the battle pass in the game, and then there's like a $5 thing what gets you a currency every single day. It's like, okay, let me just try this out to see if I can get the experience. Out of the 17 characters that are currently in the game, I have 12. So like my luck has been extremely well in this game. Well, you know, the amount of variety of gameplay options I have is pretty good. But then you get into what actually gets your characters, you know, strong. And you know, it is a pay to win game, but I don't necessarily think that's bad because you're just playing with yourself. In order to further max out your characters, you have to keep pulling the same, you know, character that you like 6 times to max up like your mindscape, which is just, it basically just buffs your overall combat skills. So like you have 6 levels that you can buff them up, and it either does more damage. Yeah, what'd you say?
No, it's a combat skills. It sounds like you're like fucking bitches in the game.
No, bro.
I need to see the video because I'm like, this
Dude,
sounds crazy.
Dude, you're talking about combat skills. I thought no one really we let that pause moment go by. So yeah, when you play this
Combat
game,
skills.
when you play this game, you're not, you know, you're playing with yourself. Like, yeah, we know you are, but can you just like keep that news to yourself?
That's why
Church?
you only have one attack button. You know, you
You know-
got one have
Yeah.
you can go through every combat just with
It's
one
like building
hand.
your saw where you hit the square.
Right.
One thing I will add, to this, because I did dip my into, I did stream a little bit of this too, because Church kind of got me into this game to try it out. Is you can tell the interface was like meant to be a mobile game. Like it started as a mobile game. Like it's really funny in fact because when you watch the tutorials of like a new move you unlocked, the screen showing you how to use the move, like kind of like think of like Overwatch, you get a preview of the move. You can tell it was captured from like a phone screen. I'm not saying the quality is bad. It's just like, you know, like PUBG Battlegrounds, there's like the faux analog stick
Yeah.
and this button and this button. And so again, just to give you some context, like this, like how this gacha game surprisingly has a lot to it when it's clearly was meant for mobile, but it came to PS5 and the God
Yeah.
Churches loving it. But go on. Sorry. The fact you're like, yeah, so you're gonna play with yourself. Like, God damn, like no one's gonna let that go by. Okay.
I guess so, man. So I think it's a lot for new players to come into, and you kind of just want to get into the combat, and they front load you with a bunch of story. Like you kind of watching a lot of cutscenes, and I'm willing to give it a shot to get into the story. The story is kind of whatsoever. I find myself skipping the cutscenes because I kind of just want to get to the next fight, to get to the next material, to level up my character. So I've been grinding up all my characters. So like level 40 out of 60 for anybody playing the game. You know, I'm just started chapter 3, which is the last chapter in the game, so I'm almost done. But you know, I've just been grinding through it as much as possible. And it's basically they do a story mission to introduce every new game mechanic in the game. And there's a lot of game mechanics, bro. There's a lot of vendors. You know, we have just tons of currency, right? That you have to get like 10 different currencies to level up your weapons. Then you got a currency to level up your character. Then you got 6 currencies to level up each character's attribute. And that seems a little bit overwhelming, but it's friendly enough when like, hey, I need to level up this. Oh, you don't have the currency, just click it and it will teleport you to where you need to go fight or grind a mission to collect the currency. So it's like you don't have to memorize where it's at. It's very friendly, just like, hey, you need this, go here, this is where you go get it. And it limits the amount you can grind each day. You have like this battery, like for your like charging your phone that allows you to do these certain type of missions for material that you can only do a certain amount per day. So I mean, I guess that's how they keep you coming in daily, day after day, and that's fine because I kind of just log in, get the material, and then log off. But allow me to grind my character pretty far. I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm enjoying the game, but I just don't know if it's because of the titties. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the combat is pretty fun. Like the bouncy effect is pretty cool. I mean, the character, the animation in terms of the game quality, in terms of character models and the moving back and forth to even the cutscenes, top tier. Like I'll put this up to any game in terms of animation. It's pretty spot on, and the animators are having a lot of fun, and the fighting is cool. The fighting, the cutscenes is cool. Fighting and playing each character is really cool as hell. Like they even preview some new characters coming out later this week, and they're different than the previous ones. No one character feels samey. And I played a lot of games that, you have the samey type character, just a little bit different. So I think they each have their own identity, and that's tough to pull off. So, um, I don't know. I think I would recommend it, honestly. I think you can get very far in the game free to play. Um, my wife's playing the game now too, and she seems to enjoy it, but the dialogue drags a little long, so it's pretty good. Any questions? Like,
So I guess online, I was seeing that I guess there's a conversation of it, or a conversation slash debate of it being like considered just virtually gambling. What are your thoughts on kind of that Zenless and Zero when it comes to just the function of where it may be considered gambling?
well, so you can play the entire game free in terms of you don't need to spend any money and you get a big roster of characters. But when you want to unlock the new shiny toy, which are the new characters come out, you have to have a special currency. You can get that currency through in-game gameplay of the swipe of your character credit card. And it's essentially just it's a lottery machine, right? It's a loot box. Like you pull it in, it's your chances of going. I pulled it a few times and gotten great results from it. Um, so I mean that is a warning to anybody though too. Like it's designed for you to put money in the game to get the characters that you want. And there's always that FOMO, right? The fear of missing out on the game. Well, hey, here's this cool new shiny character that's available for 2 weeks, that's on a limited run. Pull it now, right? And at first, it's not bad, like, because you think you just pull in, like, oh, I got the new character, right? But then you realize if you really like that character, you have to pull an additional 5 more times to get the 5 more times in order to max her out on this one screen. Dude, it's fucking like shameless, bro. Like there's like this cinema screen, right? Where you basically do the character, right? It's like it's an image of the character posing, right? And after you do the first 3 times, he unlocks the image, right? And you see the whole image, and it's like in a cool pose or like kind of a sexy pose. But then you unlock it 3 additional times, right? And it literally just undresses the character. That's like the goal. So when you max out the character, you get the entire background of just undressed. I'm like, this game is, I don't know, bro.
Amazing.
This game is game of the year.
Yeah. So it's so, I mean, so you not only incentivize to, complete that, but also try to max out your character. Now, what does this mean in terms like, dang, do I need to do this to finish content? No, I mean, if you watch YouTubers and the characters, you don't need to max them out. You can kind of just pull them once. You don't need to get the specialized weapon. It's not needed to clear in-game bosses. You can actually, the free-to-play characters right now are probably the strongest character in the games. So you can kind of go through anything. So it doesn't limit what you can complete in the game. But I mean, it's a live service game. Who's to say 2 to 3 months from now, right? When like new characters come out, maybe there is a team that's stronger than the rest. But as of right now, it's like you don't need it. But there is that warning.
Interesting. I don't know if that's. I mean, even though I talked about succubus, it seemed like this game seems to be right up my alley. But
I mean, yeah, don't shame me, brother. Like, I at least have fighting games. Like there's a fight mechanic in the game, bro.
Yeah, there's a fighting mechanic in succubus as well. Don't do that.
Okay, really.
Jerrell, motorboating isn't a fighting style, okay?
Right,
like
bro.
that's not like this. It's not like a top 10 fucking fighting style of like okay, like, there's crane, there's snake, and there's motorboat.
I don't know if there's motorboating, but you can anyway. I'm not even gonna say the things
unplayable.
the things you can do in the game. I'm not. It's crazy. So anyway, wow.
It's weird. There's this no, I had to stop myself.
Like I play. Okay, I played the demo successfully. I beat it. Okay, but the things you can
Hope
do.
you cleaned up.
You beat it.
Yes.
Like, goddamn, guys, like, can you
Like,
just play a game and like keep your pants or just keep it to yourself?
I probably have to
one
cut
or
this.
the other.
I probably have to cut this out, but I'll say it anyway. Like, there's a scene where I basically was Planned Parenthood. Like, I literally aborted this like lady's kid, fucking threw it across, like, and I was in hell, like, because they're like, suck it, you're a demon, you're like a sex demon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's wild.
church, because I played this game too. I haven't played it with church, but I played ZZ with church. We're just, we're killing demons. We're killing demons. We're not, like identifying as Plan B over here. But.
Yeah, like the story of the mission is like I literally sent out a team to stop this evil corporation from like setting off like they got a contract to destroy for demolition. So they're going to blow up a building that people still lived in, but like the regular citizens didn't know people were there. So I went through the whole story trying to stop that. And that's just like chapter 1, right? There's a story that's beyond just the jiggle, okay? And you got to push them aside, get your way through.
Just walk through a cloud like fucking Chappelle. Get away from me, bitch.
Rick James, like,
dude.
But the game is so stylish. It looks cool. It looks like cool anime characters. If you into anime, the fighting looks cool. It sounds good. It feels unique. And then it has the bounce jiggle effects too on top of it. And then like I give them credit, man, because it's not for everybody because it's a lewd game to a certain extent. I love the fact that you can fully upgrade a character and you get that like image, so to speak. I mean, I think that's fun. Like, yeah, this is like a gimmick inside the game, but we're going all out on it. But there's also some combat depth that you can do in the game too as well. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to recommend a gacha game so much like this, but it's like, I mean, if you like have self-control and restraint, like I guess dip your toe in, but it definitely has all the mechanics that you're afraid of. Like, I mean, these games are super popular, man. It made $100 million in its first 30 days, bro, since this release. $100 million.
Goddamn weeaboos.
In the US, or is that worldwide, or is that overall?
I think it's worldwide, bro.
Wow. Wow.
That's crazy, bro. Some of my mortgages went away.
One thing I will say is that was my first dip into a gacha game because I'm like, I don't like, I'm not a big fan of freemium. I don't like pay to win games. But I will say this, the gameplay, the art style, the graphics, the scripting, the story, the quote unquote world, it's not really an open world, but there's still like, you can walk around and stuff. There's way more to the game than you think. Like if you're telling me, hey Arthur, there's this quote unquote mobile gacha game, I'm thinking like, what's that game that's at the bottom of everyone's reels nowadays and they're talking? It's like Subway Runner or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like when I think of a mobile game, I'm still in the age where I think of like Candy Crush or Angry Birds or fucking Subway Runner. No, this is a game. And the controls, I would say like this, the best way I can describe the controls, it's like picture Marvel versus Capcom games, except how when you pick a character it says, do you want like advanced or basic? You choose basic. So there's really only like 3 buttons, but there's still mechanics. There's only 3 buttons, but guess what? There's a perfect parry. There's a perfect assist. There's a perfect counter. There's a perfect special. So you can be simple and just mash buttons. And the thing is too, the game does have a difficulty setting. So if you want to make this game a game, do what I did. I think I put it on hard or something like that. Or if you're just here for, the jiggle physics, which again, no judgment, looking you, Jerrell. There is an easy mode. But the thing is too, I will say again, I think I played this on stream too. There is surprisingly like an actual fucking plot to this game. I'm not talking about the plot. That's so good. I like that double D plot. No, there is like a plot. Like there is like a portal open, and now there's like demons coming into the like digital demons coming into the world, and now there's this class of people or like this like I can think of this word like a group, like I don't know, job group of people that can go in there and fight them back, or they can go in there and rescue people, and it is good. One thing I will say, that one thing Church did touch on is if you're not used to these type of games like I wasn't, like the ratio of gameplay to dialogue may be too much for you, like it was for me. I'm like, holy shit. Like it was like 4 parts dialogue and like 1 part gameplay, which depending what you're there for, you might like, you might not like it. I like the gameplay. So the fact I had to like deal with a 20-minute dialogue moment, it was still fun, still entertaining, but I'm like, I want to get back in the game. Let me, like, it's really like, I'm not saying it's jarring, but like the gameplay is very fast paced. It's like Devil May Cry been at a wham fast pace, to go from that to like 10 to like, multiple minutes of just straight dialogue. It's like, it was too much for me, but it's still like surprisingly a really good quality game that's for a free gotcha.
So the combat sections are like 2 to 3 minutes, and then you get like 20 minutes of dialogue. And the very beginning of the game, it's heavy on that ratio. As you get further into the end game, like I'm finding myself fighting a lot more because I'm grinding for certain stuff. You unlock different game modes, like challenges, where it's more of like there's a roguelike game mechanic in the game where you just keep fighting and fighting until you die. There's a time trial one. There's where you have to beat bosses and you get these monster notorious hunts, which you fight a creature and it evolves like 6 times. So you're trying to beat that as quick as possible with dealing with like a harder gameplay mechanic. And that's when the DMC style combat comes out a lot more kind of stuff. But it surprisingly for a gacha game, they front load a lot of story on it. Whether or not that story is good or bad, it's kind of up to you. I think it's kind of dry sometimes. There's a lot of side quests, which is story front level too, which are pretty good too as well. But it's much more like than just the jiggle allure to get you in the game. And I don't know. I think they have a really good formula. There's a lot of mechanics to this game. Like there's an arcade in the world, Jerrell, where you play like Snake, you play Shovel Knight, you play like this dig game, which you earn currency to do other stuff. There's a lot of mini games in this as well as a puzzle system. That there's a lot more in this video game than just the fighting too that you have to play as well. So I think it has the legs, bro. I can see why this is going to go on for a long time. I think it's not. I mean, it is a cash grab, but it's a very well thought out, put together, cash grab type of thing.
Oh, and also, Church, isn't it cooperative?
It is cooperative. There's a Persona game mechanic too, where you basically have a friend mechanic. What other game does this too as well? Like it's a relationship mechanic where you hang out with the people, you build up the trust, and then you
Sims.
I guess so, right? I guess that's the most popular one.
Ubalaya. No, yeah, Sims. Whatever their fake language is called.
Yeah, anything that gets me to say Persona, like I'm there for. So at the end of the day, so Jerrell, are you going to download the game, or is it not succubus enough for you? Like,
you know what? You guys need to play. I am sick of y'all need to play the demo at least.
Send a link. I don't know if I just
pockets ain't that deep, brother.
if I just Google
Free
succubus,
download.
my Google's gonna overwhelm me with results. Just send a link. What platform? What publisher? What are you talking about?
Your algorithms are going to get you anyway. I'll send you a link. Don't test me.
I bet you do.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, in 2024, if I Google that one succubus game, going to get more than one result.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Why did you download succubus? You saw the title? Or
I saw I don't know how I came across it, man, but I saw.
I know how you did.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You're
Don't
on your
do that.
phone. You accidentally clicked an ad. We all do it. And you're like, oh, you know what? This this.
I'm not gonna let y'all create this narrative, but I don't think it's really for me. I will say that I don't think we can have a conversation about how bad microtransactions are if we're gonna play play a game like this gacha game. If there's titties and cooperative, and we're like, yeah, it's pretty good, but as the same gacha cash grabness, I don't think we can have a conversation about how bad Blizzard is anymore.
I never said
Arthur.
Blizzard was bad. That's
no. I know. I'm looking at Arthur when I say that, but
and look, in fact, the opposite, Jerrell. In fact, I'll give Blizzard credit if they start releasing some microtransactions of character models that exist on some other sites. Then hey, that shit might actually get valid. Like, hey, there's like Overwatch Diva, and there's like Diva, as you know, are on this other site, and now you can buy that skin. Oh my god, that one game will make more than the next like 3 RPGs combined. That one skin.
please.
Man, you got to give the people what they want, at the end of the day.
That's such a dangerous sentiment. But I mean, a game is a game is a game, as I say.
I will say this. I think, on jokes aside, I don't know if this game is for me long term. It is. I want to get these characters that look cool. I'm going to try to get this new character that comes out, but just I'm looking how to pull it, and it seems to involve money. Like I just it's too much money. I'm like I don't know if I want to invest that much money into this game. I don't know if I want to spend $50 each month to try to pull the new the new character, because I guess the cadence is they have new releases every 30 days, bro. Like the release cycle, in terms of a games of service, like that's actually really impressive. Like every 30 days you have new content.
Take note, Suicide Squad.
I mean, if they're making
right.
$300 million in 30 days and shit.
Bro, there's so much coming out since the game released. New chapters, new game modes, they adding it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Not to cut you off, but like as a genre, as a gacha game, you and your wallet will be pled into a corner. Like you'll hit a limit of how much their ratio of time and effort to money you want to spend or are comfortable spending. It'll hit a limit at some point when it comes to this as a genre, not as a game, just as a genre.
Yeah, I agree. I think I got another 30 days on this one, and then like I'm gonna call it quits, because it's just, I mean, this game's only gonna lend to me spend more money, right? It's just like what else am I doing here? And I got other stuff I gotta do, so but it's very well done, but it's gonna take your money. But,
I was gonna
not
say
all women take your money.
So it does take your money.
I was gonna say Church just said something that I kind of almost want to transition to like my next topic. Because he says he's at 30 days to till he's on this something else. I know I'm asking what you could be what game to play in 30 days, which is a game that I want. And spoiler, the console I'm buying it on may shock you. Dude, Space Marine 2, September 9th. And if we would do it, Jerrell,
you're getting it on PlayStation, you son of a bitch.
Welcome.
So to answer this, to start this topic off, Jerrell, not only am I getting Space Marine 2 on PS5, there's a solid chance, minus console or cooperative exclusiveness, minus cross-platform play, any game that I'll be spending money on that won't be on Game Pass for the foreseeable future, I'm buying in the PS5.
Who is this? Who is this person that we're talking to?
I mean, we're talking.
I don't know who this is. Who the fuck are?
I'm sorry. I
love this, man. Like,
yeah, who the fuck is in the chat right now? Is this a podcast?
This is great, bro.
Dude,
it took years, but I broke him down.
Yeah, church, you need to sell houses, bro. Because goddamn.
The funny thing is, honestly, church had nothing to do with it. It was one piece
fuck
of
you.
It was one.
Give my man his credit. He deserves some kind of credit.
I get some percentage, bro. Like I've been preaching.
Here's. Let me say stuff. So once again, to clarify that, if a game is coming out, AAA, indie, whatever, if there's a game coming out that is not going to be on Game Pass and cross-platform play is not affected, and it's not going to be on Game Pass where I have to spend money for it at face value at launch, I'm buying on PS5.
Okay. Obviously you need a history. What led to this decision? Because for anyone listening to the podcast that's been a fan for many years, that's a crazy sentence. So please go on.
I mean,
he's speaking.
I'm team.
That's saying to me, brother.
So
clear as day.
Here's like the overall like time frame that kind of led to this. So again, so I'm an Xbox for years. Game Pass for me, is one of the best value services I think out there. Then Helldivers 2 comes out. I bought Helldivers. I bought a PS5 just for Helldivers 2. Like I said, I owned that console for a week before I even went to the settings. Before I even looked, I didn't even know. Like, I only knew the Helldivers was on the home screen. So for a week, I didn't even know where the fucking store was. Like, I didn't know how to access shit on that console. It was just
so hilarious to me. You got caught cheating on your Go.
He
And
went-
you explain,
he
like,
went-
I didn't
he
even go
went
to the
from
settings.
he went from not knowing where anything is to anything moving forward, buddy. It's all.
It's not you.
Yeah.
And here, I feel bad because the reason why I'm going purchase games PS5 versus purchase games on Xbox, I feel bad because it's gonna like not let you guys down, but you're gonna be like, really? That's the fucking reason? I'm be like, hey, fuck you, I do me. So
Did you find
the
Succubus?
Nope. This is really, really specific, but it is me related. It's my, we all have our own world. I have my world. I like to play games my way. I like to experience games my way. I like to be comfortable. And Church introduced me to a feature on a piece of hardware that's forever changed my gaming experience.
The platinum trophies?
Nope. It's a piece of hardware. It comes with every single PS5 you buy.
Oh, you mean the mic and the controller, bro?
The mic and the controller. I don't, when I say there are receipts, I'm not dropping metaphors. I'm not giving hyperboles. I'm not saying, oh, I have Twitter receipts. I have tangible fucking receipts from multiple retailers. I have spent hundreds, plural, hundreds of fucking dollars that my big ass cranium of all the headsets that my head has broke.
Did you break another headset recently?
I don't. It's about to break. I can feel the cracking. It's about to break. I have a certified head. Like I said, I've spent hundreds of dollars on fucking headsets. Fun fact, when it comes to laptops, hardware wise, what's the first part of the shell that goes first? The hinges, right? What's the first part of a headset that goes when you have a big ass head? It's the earpiece, the joint that connects to the actual headset. That's the joint that goes first. And I have been through a plethora. I've had $25 headsets. I've had $300 headsets. I've had $200 headsets. I've had $125 headsets, and I have broken them all, Jerrell. I have broken them all. And the fact
you just had enough after the $600 mark.
I've had enough.
Is enough.
Dude, my wallet's had enough, and more importantly, my cranium has had enough. I have played hours and hours and hours of Bannerlord, Ratchet and Clank, Ghost of Tsushima, Helldivers 2. I want to dip my feet into Horizon Forbidden West because it's on PlayStation Plus Premium. I want to dip my feet into Space Marine because for someone that has a big head, for the first time in my gaming life, arguably maybe since the PS2 or pre the gaming headset era, I get to experience the game comfortably without wearing a headset. And the fact that people are like, well, Arthur, what about your TV? Doesn't your TV have audio? No, man. I am playing Bannerlord right now, and every sword, ching, pa, pa, every shield bash, every arrow, all that is coming from my controller. So the fact I get to experience a headset like experience, and the fact I can stream with my controller, I can be in a party with my controller, there's no other cores involved. My controller is a microphone and a speaker, and plus the touchpad is a whole new button that doesn't exist on other consoles. We talked about this. If Helldivers 2 comes to Xbox, Xbox players will not be able to access the map the same way that I can. Or if I'm getting chased by a charger, I can use my thumb on the fucking touchpad. And it's
one of the best features for controllers, the touchpad.
The controller, dude. This sounds really specific, but I'm sorry. But the fact that that my big ass head that I've spent hundreds of dollars to accommodate on, I can play games without wearing a headset while still experiencing a type of immersion you can only get with the PS5. Dude, I can't tell you how I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers. I haven't Googled it yet because I don't want to let myself down, but I'm crossing my fingers that day one when I load Space Marine 2, there's 3 editions. I'm going to buy the second tier one. I'm going to buy that on PS5. If I get to hear a chainsword coming through my PS5 controller, that may be one of my best experiences on a PS5 to come, is hearing a Warhammer 40K Space Marine chainsword come through my controller. But I'm sorry, for more reasons than one, if I'm paying for a game, I'm going PS5, man.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead, because
No,
I'm
no,
baffled. I'm baffled.
you're baffled. You understand what this man is going through. It's like I played Metal Gear Solid 5, right, on PS5. I know it came out on like the previous console generation, but if you play it on PS5, when you do the when Snake gets a call like that sound, like it's the radio, that
Yeah,
shit
the
comes
codec.
through. Yeah, it comes the codec. It comes through your controller. So it's like you can hear them.
That's
The whole
sexy.
dialogue. It doesn't come from the TV. It's through the controller. And that shit is so fucking cool, bro. You will bust a nut once you finally play it, bro. Like Metal Gear Solid Delta. It's a good thing. And I can't,
Wow.
Arthur, I'm so proud of him, bro. Like,
Fuck you,
you done,
Church.
you done pre-ordered games. You playing Diablo 4. You buying deluxe editions.
Oh my god.
Hey, what? Like, this is how you game, bro. Like, let's go.
So
Oh,
can you answer this for me though? So this is and obviously we were talking about Game Pass here before we recorded. This is the I dick ride Game Pass guy. It seems like you're jumping off the dick. So what? So Game Pass is not going to lure you, not going to keep you.
Game Pass is still Game Pass. But for a game like fucking Space Marine 2 that was supposed to be on Game Pass and they fucking took it off, for Game Pass
That was
games
the
that's going to be on
camel
Game
that broke
Pass.
broke the camel's back.
So here's the thing. Let me be clear. I'm not canceling Game Pass. I still have Game Pass. But guess what? My Xbox is now a Game Pass machine. If it's not on Game Pass, more often than not, I'm going to see myself lean towards the PS5 because, again, this thing I'm wearing, this fucking this plastic piece of constraint I have to do to appease you people so you can hear me because my laptop mic isn't as good. This is the first time my head has felt constrained in fucking days, and I hate it. I have my headset right now. I'm wearing to the max capacity, and I still feel like a genie in a bottle, man. I'm just like, oh, I feel constrained doing this. So the fact I get to play without it is amazing on the PS5. But again, so the Game Pass, so Xbox. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not getting rid of Game Pass. But again, that's kind of to a point all it is. It's a Game Pass machine.
I mean,
Yeah.
PS5 is great, bro. They do some features that I think the way you play and the things that you like to do, they do very well. I like Xbox for those different reasons. That's why I came over this console generation. But to me, it is a Game Pass machine, right? I'm not buying like $70 games on my Xbox. Maybe if it's worth it, but if it's comes out on Game Pass, I'm not going to do it. I think the control is really nice on PS5 for everything you stated and above. I think the broadcasting to YouTube is so simple, so quick, right? And the video record button is so much better than Xbox. You hit one button and you can clip 30 seconds, like 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 minutes, and you can do that in 2 clicks. Xbox's feature is not that good. I mean, have you been playing with the video captures on your PlayStation? It's so convenient.
I have not, but also, Church, to add to your point, you've told me that I haven't done it yet. But you've told me to this point, unlike Xbox, when you capture a video, it includes your party chat. Xbox doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you brought it up. When I get trophies in games, when I'm playing with the homies, not only do I capture the video, the audio of that moment is captured because it comes through your controller. So you can hear and relive that moment over and over again. And boy, when I tell you I got some trophies in Elden Ring, I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and I smile every time I go back to revisit those moments, right? And it does it very well. It just Microsoft has they need to bring it up to the modern day. The achievement system needs to be upgraded. The screenshot and sharing needs to be improved drastically. It's just, PlayStation is doing a lot more in some areas.
Man, there's, this is very, this is very,
like, who the fuck am I talking to?
Jerrell's like, it's the whole identity of this podcast.
Just get the fuck out of the no. This is very interesting, right? It's very telling based off of, especially because I feel like you're not the only one who's kind of like jumping ship over to PlayStation, especially because we had this whole, even though like, yeah, they had a really good conference, right? But then we keep seeing these games on Xbox Game Pass that just tend to be a little more disappointing. Yes, there is a good library for some older games, but you know who else has a really good library? Steam does. And
Also, PlayStation Plus Premium.
PlayStation-
All the games I'm streaming, I'm not fucking paying for.
PlayStation Plus is getting better, like especially when it comes to the retro area. I was hanging out with my friend that I've known for over 20 years on his birthday. You know, he has the PS5, and he was scrolling through like the games for like the retro area and like game for like the PlayStation 3, and I was like, there's a decent amount of games on there, and I know that library is going to be growing. So they're slowly but surely kind of adding to that library. When in that particular notion, obviously not like day one Game Pass stuff, but just games that have that nostalgia attached to it. But one thing that PlayStation has done consistently that I think a lot of console owners appreciate is just its consistency with releasing high quality games that, you know, they have been working on for a while, but they fucking deliver. They deliver, and then also the UI, like it feels like a luxury item. You know, like there's a really strong community as far as people that are just like, oh man, I'm gonna get the PS5 soon, bro. You know, like no one really says that with Xbox anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, and a lot of it is just because of the IP in the games. They don't really. They're taking way too fucking long with a lot of their huge games, you know, like the Halo. Unfortunately, there's the disappointment with Infinite. You know, God knows what they're going to do after that. Yes, we hear about the new Gears of War that's going to come out eventually. It's a prequel. You know, it's not continuing anything. Be looking forward to that, but God knows when that's coming out. That's going to be many years. So, and then PlayStation, you know, they're just going to keep rolling out these titles that are really good. And then for you, Arthur, you have a lot of games that are fantastic that you haven't played before. Of course, there's some that you've seen, you know, like the ending via YouTube. I still say play them because the experience is going to be crazy, especially with the PlayStation 5 controller. So it's just, it makes a lot of sense, man. It kind of makes me want to get one as well. I do like that a lot of those games are more and more. I won't say a lot of them, but a lot of them are showing up to PC. And obviously, I bought a PS5 controller, so if I did get a PS5, I'd have two controllers so I can play with my nephew or whatever. So that would work. Really quick, as I end my rant, do we know if Space Marine 2 is that co-op, couch co-op too?
Couch Coop.
Couch and online, or is it just online?
I will TBA.
Because if it is, then I need to call my friend Yard, be like, yo, couch co-op Space Marine 2, let's do this.
I'll say so. A couple things on Space Marine 2 as I'm doing.
Well, hold on. I kind of want to go back to the hardware between.
I'll Google. You do that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's exciting, Arthur, for you to come over to PlayStation because maybe there is like an exodus from Xbox to PlayStation. From a PlayStation fan, me, right, that joined Xbox this console generation, I went to Xbox because Xbox was delivering something new and unique, and it still has that, right? It's just PlayStation has always been this great. It's been this great for years, right? And authors experiencing it as well. But Xbox, you know, it's doing some good things. The best thing they have going for them is Game Pass and day one release as well. I think they just have some tweaks they need to do to the UI. Like that's not a deal breaker. There's things they do better than PlayStation, in my opinion. But overall, it's the promise of games that eventually do come out, right? And I think we finally got a showcase which has like a good cadence. Now that cadence seems to be jeopardized because of some rumor delays of Avowed coming out in 2025. But they finally got the games. But the problem is, and it's always been what Xbox need was here's this, you know, domino setup for the games, but they need to be good, right? They need to be good. Like, okay, you finally delivered on the games. Can the games be good? And that's the test they need to overcome. And I think they're going to get there. I think Indiana Jones can be a solid 8 out of 10. I think Avowed can be an 8 out of 10. But PlayStation's always going to have those premium titles like God of War and Last of Us, right? That are amazing. But the problem is they only make the same type of game on PlayStation. It's third person action adventure. Every single one of them, right? And that's not a bad genre, but Xbox has more of a diverse gameplay variety when it comes to the studios. And I think that can separate the two as long as they deliver. Because PlayStation, they need some variety in the game. coming forward. But they also get some third party, exclusives too, like, Final Fantasy games for years were coming to PlayStation only. So I'm happy, Arthur, that you're over here finally, come to the blue. It looks good on you. Jerrell's is green with envy right now, but it's okay.
I'll say this: how Jerrell was just saying with everything that I was just talking about, that he might get it, that he might have to look into a PS5. Couple things. Number one, every now and again, a game comes out. I'm like, hey guys, I need you day one. I need you there. Space Marine 2. I need you guys.
Wait, what edition are you ordering for Space Marine?
The second one. The third tier, the last tier. The only difference is you paid $20 more for 2 pieces of cosmetics, and I'm like, that's not worth it. So the second tier, you still get 4-day early access, and you still get the season pass. That's the main reason why I'm doing it, because the second tier comes with season pass.
Also, man, you hold on a second, bro. I can't let this go. Y'all were like smacking on Ubisoft for the prices, and like, have you looked at the prices of these editions, Jerrell?
This one's not as bad as Ubisoft.
No, I haven't.
Do you want to guess, my brother?
It's like 90, right?
Okay, the base is 69.
Yeah.
99. The second, is the gold edition, is 99.99. Mm-hmm. And then the third one is 109.99.
Ubisoft was the highest Ubisoft.
Bro,
was like
that's
130.
not bad. That's Call of Duty shit. That's less than Call of Duty editions.
We're over the $100, and like it's not.
We've seen some for like 150, like for like
Ubisoft,
Black Ops 3 shit.
Remember, wait,
120, bro. We like $8 away from 120.
You said Ubisoft. I will say this: you said Ubisoft. Ubisoft's highest tier is like 140.
Oh, on what game, homie? Like, hold on, like
Outlaws. Both Outlaws and the new Assassin's Creed. Oh yeah, yeah. Assassin's Creed was way more. Oh yeah.
Okay, let me educate myself live. I'm sorry, guys. Like, hold on.
All good.
What was how much was the?
Oh shit! Never mind. 130. I see.
You see the vision. You see the vision now, motherfucker.
Oh shit!
And you love collector's editions. How much was that Armored Core? That Armored Core edition with the fucking machine?
I'm not judging. Arthur, I'm over here, bro. Just get the ultimate edition. Like, what's $20 away? What are we talking?
Because it's
one's 100, one's 109. Like, come on, bro, just go out.
No, because I'm paying $20 for 2 pieces of cosmetics, and that's $10 a piece.
You're paying 10. It's 99 to 109.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing too. I don't feel like upgrading.
It's a month of PlayStation Plus, man.
No. This is why this game in particular, people are hyped about it, because they bring back something that we haven't experienced in a long time with a AAA or a major game. You can unlock in-game cosmetics from playing the fucking game. And so so I'm okay saving like $10, knowing that $10, just call it what it is, that $10 is probably going to go to some other beverages day one launch. So bam, that money is that. I'll rather spend that $10 there on some Spanish wine, aka I'm looking at a bottle of Vina Borgia that I'll probably rebuy on September 9th. So that money's going to get allocated there. So couple things, like I said, when it comes to Space Marine 2. Number one, day one.
He's a pirate just drinking wine all of a sudden. Go ahead. Jar.
So all I need to get left is fucking scurvy. Shit, give it time. But so Space Marine 2. Here's the thing with Space Marine 2. It comes out September 9th, which I think is a Monday. So if you pre-order it, you get early access 4 days, which is that Thursday night. So that Thursday or at least Friday night. Thursday, at least minimum. Friday night, if you guys can, I can see if I would like to see you guys on day one, because that campaign is full cooperative. It's been a while since I think all of us have played a true like campaign story based game. Secondly, no rush, no things. Just throwing it out there, Jerrell. Between now and release date, I don't know, because there's clearly a budget involved, but I'm just putting out to the world that if between now and Space Marine 2 drops, you do get a PS5, I will buy you Space Marine 2.
Oh, bro, that's a good deal.
I will buy you. If you get a PS5 between now and Space Marine 2 launch, I will buy you the second tier edition that comes with the season pass.
Bro, that's the gold edition, homie.
You have no idea like how Space Marine 2 has been for like me. Like people like, oh, maybe Arthur's like liking Space Marine 2 now. No, Jerrell fucking knows. Anytime Warhammer update drops for games, I'm all on it. I am still pissed that this game one got delayed. And here's the thing too, another big L to Xbox. People already talk about from the alpha and beta gameplay footage that this game can be contender for game of the year. A big fucking miss from Xbox. This was supposed to be on Game Pass. This was supposed to be a part of the Game Pass library, but because of the delay, it got removed. And now here I am. I would not be buying this game on PS5 if it would not have been removed from the Game Pass library. But
That's
here we
crazy.
are. Here we are.
Another fall release that Xbox missed. Last year was Baldur's Gate, and now it's going to be Space Marine 2. That's crazy, bro.
And the year before that, it was another anticipated Warhammer game, Warhammer 40K Darktide, and same shit happened.
But that game
got
wasn't
delayed.
that good,
and
right?
It was fun.
It's all right.
It was a niche community. Again, like when you think of Warhammer 40K, it's not like a major. It's a known IP, but not like a major, huge. It's not a Call of Duty. It's not a Call of Duty IP. But again, a lot of people like me were excited for Warhammer 40K Darktide to come out to Game Pass. Got delayed. It was removed from Game Pass, and then eventually came the console. Sorry, eventually came the console at all. But again, we would not be in this situation if it wasn't for me playing Bannerlord and hearing, like, again, Jerrell knows I'm a bow guy. Hearing the every time I fire my bow come through my controller, I'm like, I need to hear a chainsaw to come through my controller.
Yeah.
I need to fucking hear a Space Marine. I need to hear a Space Marine shout for the Emperor from my fucking controller.
Yeah, playing Ghost of Tsushima too. I bet you've been using that, swiping the wind, playing the flute too as well in the game as well. It just works so good.
The blood sheath. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right on touchpad. Oh yeah.
I know, bro. It's crazy. So is Space Marine going to be good? Like, this was the game that I was like, they did like a conference like 2 years ago where all the Warhammer games were announced, right? Everything from board games to your mobile phone, everything. Yeah, it's crazy. So this is the one I was most interested in, but I'm like, this game can't be good. It looks good, but this has to be terrible, right? Like, so is this? What are the?
It's gonna be good.
What's the thoughts? Have people previewed it? Like, are people praising it? Like,
so there was alpha footage. So there was a closed beta, which I couldn't get into. And here's the thing: we've had nothing but gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
You want to know what dropped yesterday?
But is that like console
fucking
PC
gameplay
gameplay? You know, like,
it looks like Gears before Gears. Like,
yeah,
like the new Gears coming out.
So in terms of whether they're showing a console or PC again, that's not really a big negative for me. I mean, it could be PC, I don't know, but this game has been announced on console since day one, and it looks just fun, man. Like, so there's a cooperative campaign, there's a cooperative PvE, class-based horde mode or / mission mode, and then church also there's PvP. There's 6v6. There's 6v6, and all the cosmetics you unlock for your character can carry from campaign to PvP. So again, people were kind of upset that their what was supposed to be their last beta got closed. But since then, they've dropped like three more gameplay trailers, including the one that came out yesterday. I think I put it in chat. And like, dude, the game looks so fun. Jerrell, I don't know if either of you ever played World War Z, but a reminder that the horde mechanic that from the movie translated into the game of World War Z, of the hordes just like fucking overwhelming you and just like acting as one giant mob, that is in this game. That true horde mechanic is in this game. So I can't fucking wait to play Tyranids with that type of horde mechanic that I did get to enjoy in World War Z. So short version, church, good or not, I'll put it this way, church, if you're asking whether it's going to be good, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great, and you can give me your opinion after we play together on day one. How about that?
On what day one? The game?
Yeah, Space Marine 2 day one, which is technically Thursday if you release it. The 4-day early access comes with the second or third, because I'm only doing the second. But like I said, true release date is like a Monday or something. But that's what I'm saying for you guys, if you're free either the Thursday night or at least the Friday night beforehand, with the second or third edition to play 4 days early.
Wait, how can I have to buy the game, right? Okay, I got to buy the game. So I'm going to look into it to see if, I mean, it looks amazing, right? I'm like looking at some footage right now as you were talking. I don't see anything I dislike. What got me nervous when it was no longer on Game Pass, like, did Microsoft say like, oh, this game ain't it, brother? And they just decided like to take the money back? Like, you know, maybe they made a wise investment choice, but I is there any variety in the enemy type? Like, what are we looking at here? Like, I mean,
It's usually Tyranid, other Chaos Warriors, which is less like other enemy soldiers, enemy Space Marines. The one thing, real quick, Church, when it comes to that, the reason why it's possibly taking off Game Pass, here's the thing: there's been no official announcement.
damn,
It's been removed
it's
off
not.
Game
It can't
Pass.
look this good, bro. Like,
No, yeah,
this,
yeah, yes,
this
yes,
is a
yeah.
lie, bro. I've been lying, bro. Like,
Like, so I will say this: when it comes to the Game Pass theory,
damn.
there's been
Church
no
was like,
official
nah.
announcement. There's been no official announcement, but normally what happens is when a game that's supposed to let's say come out November, let's say it's supposed to come out on let's say January 1st, gets delayed. Then when it's true announcement, then when its true release date comes out, it's just quietly removed off the Game Pass library. That's happened a few times where a game is supposed to come out on this date, day one Game Pass, then it gets delayed, and then it just quietly no longer announced it's on Game Pass anymore. That there, like that happened with Warhammer Dark Tide, happened with a few other games. That when games get delayed, that's the working theory. Is it how to deal with the release window? Like, hey, makers of this game, if you release your game on this day, we'll put you on Game Pass. We'll get you the player count day one. Hey, since you've been delayed, again, it's all theory, but since that release date's been delayed, you do you no longer in Game Pass, which I don't give a shit. I'm still buying this fucking game.
Is this
And
crossplay? Or like,
absolutely, all right, yeah, absolutely.
Joy, where you at, man? Are we going to do this, brother? Are we doing it for the pod? Like,
Oh, Jesus.
I know I put you. I'm asking you live on air.
Check,
Yeah.
if not, put this way, Jerrell.
Bro.
If not, check your PC. Check your PC requirements. Check your
I
PC requirements.
I was actually doing that as you were talking about it right now.
But
So
Jerrell, you're asking if the game's this good. I'm telling you, people that played the beta, whatever, alpha, like a few months ago, they're already saying like, dude, game of the year. They said this is the soul. They like, this is yes, it's a sequel. Yes, it is Space Marine. Yes, it's Space Marine 2. It's a sequel, but because the way the game works, the chain sword, which is a Warhammer mechanic, the co-optedness, people are saying like, this is like a game that released in peak 2012. Like this is like Gears of War 2. It's like the soul. It's like what do you say? It's like I can't remember it, like a spiritual successor to Gears of War, and I can't wait.
I mean, it looks interesting, bro. Like, I mean, like I'm watching where he's fighting in this chopper right now, and the graphics look amazing. I just don't believe it, bro. Who's making this game? Do they have a track record? Like, why do we believe? I don't know what have they done? Like,
Saber does good stuff. Like I said, it's the same maker that did World War Z. And even though World War Z was unpopular, it was still a good game. World War Z was a good looking game. It as a game that handled well, had a lot of good mechanics. It was just a game that a lot of people just didn't jump on. And so the second I heard this being made from the same people that did World War Z, I'm like, oh, I knew this would be a good game. Because again, even though World War Z did, just because a game doesn't have a good player count, doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It just means it's unpopular. But there are games that are absolutely good that just weren't fucking popular. And to me, that's what World War Z was. So to have that an aspect of that team, an aspect of those mechanics, especially that fucking horde mode, come here. It's like, so Church, if you're watching the gameplay as we're speaking, and if you're seeing like a wave of 300 guys come at you, that's not background. That's not like the foreground. That's 300 fucking dudes coming at you, and you need to fucking kill them. That's that horde. That's that. I don't know if it's a patent, but I've only seen it with that Saber Interactive group of that specific horde mode existing in that way.
Okay. I'm diving in. I'm watching back-to-back trailers. Like, I might not go $100, because I gotta spend money on that gacha game, right? So I might have to put the $70 into it.
This was supposed to be
I'm thinking about quitting smoking. Here, let me take a smoke break.
I gotta finish the pack, bro. Like,
so not only as a game was I hyped for this game, just knowing the game was gonna be. This was supposed to be my birthday game. Like this game was supposed to be like my birthday thing to like myself. So that's why I'm all in. I'm all in, and every time I see a new clip, by the way, I was wrong. The trailer didn't announce the new gameplay trailer didn't release yesterday. It released 3 days ago. But again, we just keep getting gameplay trailer, one after another.
I mean,
very interesting. Oh, go ahead, Church.
No, that's it. I mean, I'm skeptical, but I'm gonna look into it.
So yeah, because I saw GameSpot, they had actually had an article that I cared about talking about the specs for Space Marine 2. So I technically can play the game, but if I wanted to go balls to the wall crazy sauce, like with like upgrading the video card, which they recommend at RTX 370, which is I'm like, God damn. Um, if I were to upgrade to that, which is weird, I'm only seeing Amazon renewed versions on Amazon for if I were to buy that, but it's like 330, 350 for that. And then because it's a more powerful graphics card, I would have to upgrade actually my power source because I'm only at 600 watts when it's saying that it recommends a 650, and that's like another $100 basically.
Yeah, do you enjoy this? Like, this sounds so complicated for a PC gamer. Like, what?
Do you enjoy this?
Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you gotta upgrade your power source. Like, what?
Do you enjoy this? That's hilarious. So I mean, well, to keep in mind, like if I did that, like my PC could last for another 8 years, like if I took care of it,
Okay.
which is crazy to think about. And
Like
it already has 30.
lifespan of a console. But go ahead, continue.
And I already have I have 32 gigs of RAM, so the RAM I'm good. It's literally the power supply and the fucking the video card. I already have like a Wi-Fi 6 adapter thing, so I don't have to upgrade like the motherboard or anything. But I mean, heck, another 100 and some odd bucks, I could just get a PS5. That's the one thing too. And then I don't know if the goddamn Pro, if that's just a figment of our imagination, or is that actually coming out before the end of the year? Do you think it's going to come out by the end of the year, Church? As far as the Pro, PS5 Pro?
I think so. I mean, if it gets announced this year, it's coming out this year. Is my So I think Gamescom is when, like, next week or something like that. I think
so.
that's the place where they would announce it. If it's not announced still, then it's not coming out this year. But yeah, I'll get the PS5 Pro.
Because
Question.
if it's like 450 for the Pro, I might just do the Pro, bro.
Bro,
Just
the
get
Pro's gonna be
that.
like $600. Like, what?
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
then
But how much? The PS5 is like $600.
I'd
Yeah.
rather just upgrade
Five.
my P. I'd rather just
Five.
upgrade my PC.
Oh, it's 5. Oh,
Oh, Black
I
Friday,
bought
it'd
one.
probably be
I bought one
four
this
something.
year. It's 5.
that's 5. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, you might do you. So you might as well just get the more powerful one. Is that
That's
what
what I
you're
was.
saying?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, I know there's like a few nuances that are not too super different according to Digital Foundry, but I think a lot of it is just semantics, if you will. So as far as like if I were just to upgrade, just to do the Pro and be done with it, um, yeah, if it's like 600, I could do a video card and power supply and be good for another 8 years. For like half that basically, almost. So I don't know. Thinking about it, if there's a crazy deal for like an OG PS5, I might just cop an OG PS5 because I'm like, how much better is it really compared to the Pro? And I feel like no one's really answered that because it's not out yet. Even Digital Foundry, I feel like they're just more so speculating, if you will, based on specs.
It's a weird situation because the hardware is like minimum, right, in terms of the changes, but it's the software in terms of an AI coding for
The
graphics.
machine learning shit, right?
Yeah, which is controversial in the terms like, well, if it's software, why can't the base PS5 just run it? You know what I'm saying? Why is it exclusive to the Pro? But maybe the software needs more power to run, and the PS5 doesn't have that additional power, and that changes there. So I'm excited because just the SSD drive for the PS5 is ridiculous, right? They did really amazing things. Like, on paper, the Series X is more powerful, right? Quote unquote. But the PS5, in terms of optimization, is just what they're able to do is good. So the software might actually improve it dramatically, or noticeably, right? Is what we're
Right.
looking for. So I'm gonna get it without a question. So yeah, but
Okay. Interesting. Well, damn, I have a lot to think about as
Yeah,
far as
man.
if I want to jump the broom and get, or just stick with the.
Oh God, sorry, I'm watching
I know,
this trailer.
I know, that's a terrible thing to say.
No, on Church, the boss Church just keep saying like I said, the boss fights and like there's elements of Doom because there's like little quick kill events too, kind of like how Doom has. Like, oh, this guy's going blue. Oh, that sounds like you're just full of ammo, aren't you?
was-
Nice. I
I
definitely
was
got
all
to tell my.
there was like 300 like enemies on screen. I'm like, oh god, there's so many. I was
That's
like,
the horde.
I'm o-
That's that saber and active horde mechanic I was telling you about.
we'll see what happens. I'm skeptical. It
Yeah.
seems like a whole lot. Okay.
Damn, that's crazy. And that's another thing too. Like, if I get a 370, like the RTX, and then I get the fucking power supply, I would like to have a screen that actually shows that fucking resolution. That's a
Yeah.
whole other. That's like another $300. So yeah, shit. I might
Might as well get a PS5 at
I
that
might
point.
just get a
Like,
PS5. But then it's like, well, should you get a monitor anyway because the PS5 is gonna look sweet? So I don't know, man. I have to think about it. I gotta think about it.
I got a monitor for my PS5. That's what I do.
I'm getting the game either way. I'm getting the game either way. So on something.
All I know is like this, like I said, because Warhammer, just let your first come to context. I know Jerrell knows this. I talked about it. So just for context, Warhammer's IP is public. So like you said, that's what they have their own conference because this developer made this game, this developer is making anything. So the Warhammer IP is public. So every time a Warhammer game comes out, people have to say it's Warhammer plus this, it's Warhammer plus that because its IP isn't like an in-house thing. So again, that's why this is Warhammer plus Gears of War. So again, just saying because it's a Gears of War meant to be played with the homies. If I can get you guys either day one or that Friday, ideally, please let me know. Keep me posted.
Yeah, I definitely will, man. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more.
I still like how Church is like, no way, it's this good. I'm like, yes, this is why I've been talking about this game for like a year. I put up my card. I was pissed. I got delayed. I got pissed. It's on Game Pass. Fuck, maybe I'm just buying PS5 out of spite. I don't know. Fuck you, Xbox. That's just on Game Pass no more.
I'm more like, okay, this looks kind of cool. Like my question thing, it looks good, but is it gonna be as good as Gears? But I'm looking at this gameplay overview and it looks like some customized skins and ability trees. It looks like a lot of stuff in it. I'm like, okay, this kind of speaking my language. But it's also one of those things. I don't think I had any homies like buying the game either, so I didn't know like, okay, if I get it, it's just gonna be myself. But
I think they're gonna hit you up pretty soon about it. I bet.
Well, when you're enjoying Space Marine 2, tell them, hey, I hope you guys are enjoying Suicide Squad.
Leave Suicide Squad alone, man. Okay, like,
never.
I know
I called that shit from day one.
Yeah,
never.
It almost fucking put Warner Brothers out of fucking business.
Xbox might get them, bro. Next Batman game, Xbox exclusive. Who knows?
They go back to basics. Knock this bullshit off. So speaking of failures, I thought we'd talk about, and we're kind of on PlayStation. We could talk about the Bungie situation as far as for laying off 200 plus employees, 70% reduction, which is also creating marathon concerns as far as for what that's going to look like in the future.
17%.
17%. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, Destiny executives. McLarens are going to buy themselves. Sorry, they need that supercar money.
Right. Did you want to tell that story since we were talking about it off air?
I don't have an article. I forget what article and stories, but pretty much the timeline is one of the some of the executives invited Bungie employees out to like this off work event. It was either like at someone's house or whatever, and pretty much one of the things the itinerary was everyone, hey, stop what you're doing and come look up my new fleet of supercars I just bought. It was like I don't know, I forget the models. I'm just saying McLaren, Ferrari, Porsche. It was like, oh, look at these cars I just bought. Aren't all the cars I just bought for myself super fucking cool? And then like 2 days later, boom. That's when people get laid off. And some people were pissed. They're like, because I think the individual person that was just like either tasked or delegated to put the announcement on social media, like, hey, we have Bungie, blah, 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 regret. And people were like, fuck you, dude. You just find me your house to show off your cars. Fuck you, to dick. You know what I mean? And so two of those people, at least involved in that specific, money flex of just showing off their cars, those two executives have eventually been let go as well.
Well, good, because that bro force, I got money bullshit. I'm so fucking tired of it from CEOs and shit, bro. Yeah, I mean, I just it's just kind of interesting as far as for PlayStation. they were making this big stink as for not so I'll just call it a stink, as far as like, hey, we're acquiring Bungie, Microsoft's acquiring all these other studios, we're going to make the move on Bungie, and we've talked about before, Arthur, on previous episodes, as far as for how the Bungie people were like, well, that's not going to change anything, and we're going to do what we're going to do, and around 2024 or whatever is like one weekend where we're going to actually come, pretty much fall in line with what they're going to release moving forward on PlayStation exclusively, and then we hear this shit. You know what I mean? And then there's already potential conversations around Marathon and how the development of the game is not in a good position right now. So it's very telling, as far as just the really. I mean, they never should have bought him, and obviously not for like what, $3 fucking billion. Like, what the fuck, So it doesn't seem like that return on investment is necessarily happening. Obviously, sad to see the employees go. Obviously, hearts thoughts out to them, and hopefully they can find some, find what they, find another job to jump to. But yeah, man, it's just that's the only kind of sharpen the side when it comes to PlayStation on some of these decisions of collaboration. I just think they never should have really looked at Bungie, especially if shit like this is going to happen. I know, obviously, Destiny 2. I think people are still playing it, even though people aren't necessarily super happy with the last expansion.
Yeah, they did a new expansion. They did a new expansion recently that a lot of people, it got people back in the game to at least peek their head over, see what's going on. And here's the other thing too, Joe. Kind of a bigger question for this topic here is, well, remember too, remember when Sony first bought Bungie, which was a very reactive moment because Xbox had just bought Activision Blizzard for like $70 billion, and it's like, what's Sony going to do? We bought the people that make Halo. Yeah, like 2 games ago. But remember, Sony was public when they bought Bungie. They said, oh, they had this like fucking HR fucking bullshit speak. It was that they bought Bungie for broader entertainment purposes, like as if they were hinting at a Bungie movie or a Bungie TV show. So people are thinking like, is this because of that? Because like, since like it just is weird that day one, when you buy a new company, you're immediately publicly saying, we didn't buy them just for their games, but they make games. What else the fuck did you buy them for? We didn't buy them for their games. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And now here we are, just shy of 20% of Bungie's staff has now been laid off.
Yeah. So I still don't even know what the fuck they really bought them for. So, Church, any thoughts on, as far as maybe how you feel about the future of Marathon or just Bungie in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys kind of stated it before. It was a reactive moment. It's kind of hard not to judge them. I think they probably overpaid during the time, but like, they Xbox bought Call of Duty, right? So they're like, we got to do something. I think Bungie's in an interesting spot. Like, I believe they can put out a quality game that feels good, which maybe Marathon would feel good, right? Because it's just gonna have a similar feel to Destiny, and that's always fun to play. Whether or not that game comes together is interesting, but just because it went from an extraction shooter to an extraction shooter plus hero shooter, so now the gameplay evolves around certain type of heroes, as opposed to the loot being maybe weapon based in the game. So I think it's having an identity crisis, or maybe they pulled it together. I think it's what's more telling about this. I think Jason Schreier had some news report is that though any expansions to Destiny 2 is not in work, the idea of Destiny 3 has not begun at all. And even the spin-off game, Payback, whatever they have, right, is canceled as well. So Bungie's um financials were depending on the success of Destiny 2 in terms of revenue coming in, and they have nothing planned for that. So how is Bungie planning to earn money when they drop down the last expansion and they're just doing subpar seasonal updates to the gaming base that's not really interested in the game anymore? A lot of them have moved over to First Descendant, right? During this time. So it's one of those things that, like, wow, like, you guys kind of put all your money into Marathon, who is having like like an identity crisis that's supposed to come out next year, and you have no plans to keep the money chain running. It's just kind of interesting, right? and now you've lost the employees. So I don't want to make light of the reduction of employees. I think that's important too, and I think you guys touched on everything I could say. But in terms of this future, I'm kind of skeptical. Like, how long is Bungie going to last? Like, that there's literally nothing planned for Destiny 2. That's what they said. Everything is into Marathon. That's like that might get delayed. Like, how are they going to make money? Like, I suspect there's going to be future layoffs to come in the next 12 months. It's just financially, it's going to go through a problem, and that's just what's going to happen. Like,
The upside, I want to say the upside, but like the slight half soulful positive, I'll say that loosely in all this, is that this is the first round of layoffs where executives were involved. And I'm happy to see that because it's not like Destiny mechanically is a bad game where it's like these developers are not doing their job well. It's like if you tell a carpenter to make a stupid fucking horse to stupid fucking like table to the I can't think of the word to the blueprints that you give them, and he makes one for one what you fucking give him, you can't blame the carpenter. So it's like for a lot of these things that people are behind the wheel, like again, kind of using like like Suicide Squad and the executives as like, oh, we want to do this, we want to do this. Again, it just sucks that a lot of big decisions are leading Bungie and or Destiny or Marathon in the wrong direction. It's like the bottom line always gets hurts the most, even though the bottom line had decision making fucking voice and all this. So that's just one thing I noticed, that the upside downside things. Thankfully, people on Twitter were talking about that. They're like, hey, hey, fuck this guy that just said that we're getting laid off. I was just at his house. He just couldn't stop showing off his fucking cars at a semi work sponsored event. So again, upside downside, two of those fucking money flashing dicks got let go too. So that's the one thing I didn't notice with all this. That's why I want to talk about a specific story, is like of all the plethora of fucking layoffs from Bungie, fucking Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, Arcane Studios getting shut down, Take-Two Studios getting shut down. It's fucking what was it? Jerrell, the largest European gaming company, that was a big bubble. They popped themselves. Embracer Group. They put all their eggs like one basket. That basket said, "Fuck you. We ain't fuck with you no more." And then like a ton of people got laid off. Again, it just kind of sucks that to its core in a lot of these situations, more often not just in the gaming industry. That a lot of people at the bottom line that no say these decisions that affected them negatively are the ones getting let go.
Yeah, and I agree with that, man. But I think that echoes back to my point, is that the CEOs are getting left off, bro. Like, I don't think Bungie is going to be around that much longer. Like, they literally have no money. Like, how are they going to pay people salaries? There's limited amount of revenue coming in, and they don't have any plans to make any more money. There's no more expansions. Like, nobody's like, what are they going to do? Like,
especially if Marathon is in a bad shape already. You know what
right.
I mean?
Yeah. The company's not making any money. I mean, maybe PlayStation would put it on life support until Marathon releases and see if it's sustainable, right? The game is almost done if they hit their deadline, right? But it's to the point where the CEOs are like that what's that? The money cow, whatever, is that the expression? It's running dry, bro.
Cash cow.
Yeah, the cash cow, bro. They didn't invest into the future. Like, that's insane to me, bro. Like, that's really sightedness. And I think that's why they deserve to get let go. But homie, like, I don't know, they got nothing. They got nothing. So
Yeah, definitely.
Until marathon, there's always Space Marine 2.
Yeah. And speaking of people that got nothing, Borderlands the movie, 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I don't know if this is a ploy from the news people because they didn't get their direct deposit.
It's not.
Or is it just really a bad movie? I'm still kind of on the fence on that, to be honest with you. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Arthur?
From the people, not from like the reviews, the critics that they can't talk without looking down at you. I don't mean those fucking people. To me, like regular Joe Schmo people. It's this movie. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it was just good. Like, apparently the scripting was cringe. There was a lot of cliches. I'm too old for this shit. Things like I'm too old for this shit. Things like that. Um, they paid like no attention to the source material. They paid like no attention to the source material. It's one of those times where once again we ask ourselves who it is for. Because again, based on the reviews I was seeing from, I think it was like Angry Joe and was it fucking Moist Critical and a few other people, they're like, people that are fans of the IP won't like it because they're not loyal to the IP, and the people that are fans of movies won't like it because they it's like they're saying it's not cohesive. There's like plot that goes nowhere. There's side characters that go nowhere. It's unclear sometimes who the villain is. They said also too, like the CGI was like really bad. I haven't seen clips of that because people can't post stuff they're demonetized and shit. But a lot of people are saying that one thing that the trailers did not hint at, that other than a lot of the big moments in the trailer, that the CGI was quite bad. So it just seems like people felt like they're not sure if this movie was rushed or under budget or honestly like funds were not placed appropriately. It seems like most of this movie's $100 million budget was just to get big fucking names: Kate Blanchett, Jack Black, Kevin Hart. And they were saying how it seems like everyone phoned it in except for Jack Black. I still find it funny how they got Kevin Hart to play Roland, a soldier, when I still say in that first trailer, it's like, oh, he's gonna do his impression of his uncle the whole fucking movie. But no, again, it did not seem like people were review bombing it for the sake of review bombing it. Unfortunately, from what I'm seeing, I haven't seen it myself. It just seems like it's just not a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Just talking about the Roland thing, like, I mean, they were trying, like, the director, whoever was trying to sell that so hard, as far as like, oh, it's doing something different, and then we saw the trailer and we're like, it doesn't seem like anything different. And obviously, this is like maybe the second or third director that jumped on the project. First, it was Eli Roth. He jumped off the project. Someone else got on. So it just seemed like the vision of the movie in general just completely was changing, and it's crazy too because there's some top billing like actors in the movie, right? You got Jamie Lee Curtis. There's that other actress, I forget her name, but I think she plays Lilith, but she's like
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, she's like an Academy. She's either Academy Award winning or nominated actress. So like there's and then few other folks that we've seen their faces before. Obviously, we talked about Jack Black. So it's just like it seemed like it had the pedigree to be a decent film, but it just seems like the writing obviously was a huge fucking miss. And it seems like they focus more so on graphics or just it looking like something than it actually being just like a well told entertaining story. Like, I don't think anyone's asking for Oscar stuff. It's just take the content of the game or and just the same way that we've seen really good fucking video game adaptations. Obviously Last of Us is more so of a like here you fucking go, because it's like what else are you gonna do with that content, right? But
even Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout's a great example because they actually had to create some new shit, but it's like they execute it so fucking well, right? I think Jonathan Nolan is the director, kind of the main director of the show. But yeah, so it's just like it seemed like it had the pedigree to be good. I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts, Church, because I know a lot of times you like to kind of watch these certain things for yourself because a lot of times the media they'll put spins on shit. What are your thoughts in regards to this situation?
I mean, to me, I kind of it was to be expected. Was like I had no interest of seeing this movie. It wasn't really on my list to go see. It just looked bad.
Oh, that's true. You're the first one to say fuck this.
Yeah, I was like, this trailer looks terrible. I mean, to me, I looked at it and I don't know much of Borderlands, right? I know they go to space or whatever, but to me, it's like this is just like Mad Max. Like, how can you make Mad Max better than Mad Max on the cinema, right? And you can kind of have this like punky, funny comedy stuff, but like that trailer, it's just not good. I just don't think it's a good IP to go to cinema. I mean, you really have to hardcore like cater to the game base, right? And that's not what they were doing. I think the CEO of, or was it Game Freak or Gearbox or whatever they're called? No, not the Pokemon creators. Game Freak.
Randy Pitchford of Gearbox, and that's one thing too that's notable with this is the CEO of Gearbox who made Borderlands was a part of this. Like he was
Yep.
publicly like I'm part of this. So people are even more confused. How the fuck is this so different from the IP when you were there?
Bro, because he got the big name actors and actresses, and he
That's it.
thought it was gonna carry itself. And I get, yeah, he's not the brainchild
Nope.
behind Borderlands that we thought he was and kind of stuff. And this movie looks terrible. I mean, I'll see it when it's on some type of streaming service, right? I might have a good laugh about it, but it's to be expected,
Borderlands coming to Tubi, coming soon.
right? But see, then right, I might not even see it. It might not be Netflix or HBO.
I might not even see if it's on Tubi. God damn.
Bro, I mean, it's to be free. Like, what?
I think it is.
It's free with ads. One
free
thing I
with
will.
ads, yeah.
One thing I will
I
say.
gotta watch ads. Hold on, bro. This is like,
Dude, one thing I will give you credit
Hey,
for.
my time.
Church, I give you a lot of credit because you actually hit a lot of points here without knowing the IP. Like yours, because like one thing you're absolutely correct on is like, well, maybe Randy Pitchford is like the creative genius we thought, and this is showing that more than people forgot, because that's absolutely right. Because by far the best game of the Borderlands series is Borderlands 2. Like Jerrell years ago, one of our early episodes. Before we were talking about news, every time we have like a side topic. We talked about like our top 10 like games, top 10 like games of all time. We both had Borderlands 2 in our list. But the everything about Borderlands 2 that made it funny, that made it entertaining, that made it like good, was the soul of Borderlands 2 was its main writer, Anthony, was the soul of its main writer, Anthony Birch. Like one of the more known favorite characters, who is a character in this movie. Tiny Tina is a character that Anthony Birch wrote for his sister, Ashley Birch, to play in voiceover. So again, the best of the best parts of Borderlands was Anthony Birch. And so when Anthony Birch stepped away from Borderlands 3, and then Borderlands 3 came out, we're like, oh, this is really different. That's when articles and interviews started coming out. We're like, oh, fuck. Turns out, what made the prequels, not so great is because George Lucas had more of his hands in it. What made Borderlands 3 not so great? Oh, because Randy Pitchford had more of his hand in it, and Anthony Birch, the head writer, was gone. So again, with a movie like this, Randy Pitchford, I was just joking even. So I think Randy Pitchford just wanted his check and got the fuck out. Because Jerrell, remember that one E3? I think it was like technically the last E3 where they cut to the Borderlands cast, and it was just Randy Pitchford throwing a microphone in everyone's face. Here, Kevin Hart, do something funny. Like actually like live
That
E3
was
on
so
top of that.
awkward. Even Kevin
so
Hart was
bad.
like, "What the
Thinking
fuck
that,
are you doing?"
yeah.
Like Kevin Hart's like, go see this movie. It's gonna be really fun. How funny is it? Like it was like it was so cringe. Like, hey, it's gonna be funny. How funny is it gonna be, Kevin? Pretty funny.
You can tell that this was not scripted. Like he just ran up on Kevin Hart, like on set, and like he's like, Kevin Hart didn't even know he's the CEO of Gearbox. Like he was this crazy fan. Let me just agree with him so I don't die. Like,
yeah, it was. I was
hey,
like,
this
oh my
influencer.
God.
Hey, this influencer is not wearing their media badge. So I will say a couple stories that's come out since then is number one. One story is they're getting flack because a lot of the visual effects artists, like themselves or their entire teams, weren't even mentioned in the credits, which is weird. And then two, the CEO of Take Two.
I would be happy about that. Like,
like I was a part of this shit. But also too, the CEO of Take Two, who owns Gearbox, what's also Take Two is the same people that own Rockstar Games. So the CEO of Take Two has publicly come out and said either an interview or a tweet or some shit like, hey, please come out and support this movie. A lot of people worked hard on it, and the internet being the internet, good at pulling up receipts, pulled up an interview from Take Two from that same guy, the CEO of Take Two, months ago, who pretty much said, you know what, the success or failure of this movie, it won't affect our bottom line. It really won't affect much of our loss or gain of profit. I don't really care about the movie. So now when he's saying, hey guys, please come watch it, we're like, hey, we thought this wasn't going to lose you money. So what the fuck is it? So it just is odd that a CEO of a company is like, hey, can you guys please just watch this movie? Just really weird. It's like, I mean, it's like the CEO of what's that more indie company, Jerrell? A24. It's like the CEO of A24. Hey guys, please watch this movie. It's really good. We swear, we promise. Please trust me. Watch this movie, please. It's just really odd.
Yeah, I mean, because I understand as far as like, yeah, give it a chance. But it almost reminds me of like the Saints Row situation, when like people were like online, like, yeah, this looks like ass, like from the trailer, and then it's like, hey, give it a chance. It's gonna be a good game, and then it just turns out to be one of the worst games of the year. Even Sammy Loco, he he, I guess he wasn't privy. He bought the game, and he's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? I had him on the show. So it's reminded me of that. So give it a chance. I'm like, yo, that is a 0. You have to work hard to get a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
And here's the thing too. This is on the heels of the most popular movie in America that two-thirds of us have seen, Deadpool and Wolverine. You can't just throw big name stars in a movie and people will come out. No, dude, like, do you know how much fucking money I spent on fucking popcorn and snacks? God damn, I spent $30. I spent nearly half the cost of a fucking game to get snacks during a movie theater. And you think people are going to go out to watch a movie because you phoned it in? So if you phoned it in, why the fuck would we phone it in with our wallet to go see it? So there's a reason why Deadpool Wolverine is getting as successful as it is. I'm glad it is. It's a really good movie. And you know me, Jerrell, I'm not the biggest Marvel superhero guy. I'm not the biggest, I don't care. I'm superheroed out, but I'm like, you know what? Deadpool Wolverine, this looks good. I heard good things. I'm gonna check it out. Holy shit, I'm glad I did. But again, so the goal from Deadpool Wolverine, arguably one of the best, if not, it's not gonna win any Oscars, but Deadpool Wolverine clearly the most popular movie of the year so far. Potentially, if not the most popular movie of the year so far. So the goal from Deadpool Wolverine to this phoned-in Borderlands movie, it's like, dude, audiences are done with this phone-in bullshit. Make a good movie, regardless of who stars in it. We'll go see it. You don't make a good movie, you phone it in. We're not going to spend our hard-earned money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think on that note too, it's just as a consumer of these like TV shows and media, my time is too precious. Like in terms of like, am I going to watch a show or am I going to watch a movie that the creators, the writers, the directors they're not in love with the series, right? They don't really like the audience this is supposed to be catered to. Like they think they're not in love with the source material or even the genre. Like, okay, I get it. For you, this is just a cash grab so you can get onto your next, movie project that nobody's gonna go see that you swear is the best thing ever, right? But I'm not gonna waste my time. So this is why I didn't support like, Witcher season 3 or season 4 that's even coming out. It's just because I'm just, I'm done. I want to support the things that I know that's going to have passions about. And to Arthur's point, that's Deadpool and Wolverine. Like Ryan Reynolds have been passionate about that for years. Got the movies made. They service the fans. They know exactly who they're catering to, and they're making sure that there's enough love in it that we could be happy at least leaving the theater. So
Definitely. One of the last things I want to briefly talk about before you end the show here, of course, Arthur and I working at GameStop for quite some time back in the day and trying to sell that goddamn Game Informer as a feature for the Edge card that used to be called back in the day before called the, what was it? The Power Up Players.
Power Up Pro.
Power Up Pro. And the publication for Game Informer is actually closing officially. I guess it was a business for over 30 years. And then obviously during our time working at GameStop, we had to sell the card, and it came with a subscription.
Had to. Job requirement.
Had to. Yeah, it was one of the expectations. And then I guess they were earlier this year they were having employees sell or having people subscribe to Game Informer outside of the Power Up card. So the Power Up card price went up, and then like they took the subscription out, I guess, and having people sign up above it. But now it's gone. It's just kind of crazy. Just another memory lane as far as like, man, I remember we had to sell that fucking whatever magazine.
Game Informer at its peak was good. I think Game Informer at its peak was also because other publications had died out. I mean, like Nintendo Power died out, Tips and Tricks died out. So Game Informer was
EGM.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Game Informer was at its best only because its competitors just didn't survive. I got mixed emotions about Game Informer. Like if I was just a fan, I'd be like, no, Game Informer. But for me and Jerrell, it's like fucking work PTSD. Like fucking just sorry. Oh, hey, you didn't sell 3 subscriptions this day or this week. That's a mark. I don't care how long you worked at this company. If you don't get 3 in the next 2 weeks, you may be fired. Sorry, job. Who gives a shit about job security when our managers would constantly tell us or just constantly make us wear how many fucking resumes, how many applications GameStop will get on a fucking weekly basis, especially ours. We were second business in California. So I feel bad. You know, the Game Informer had its good publications. Game Informer did have good like walkthroughs or like before you play guides. Game Informer had like okay reviews because it was more trustworthy. It was more trustworthy than like IGN. But they weren't always exactly on point, but they weren't like far off. It's like if a game was like a 9, they would give it, you know, if like, you know what I mean? Like if a game was a 5, they might give it a 7, but nothing like IGN does where it's like, oh my God, this game, oh, the check cleared. This game's like 8.5, guys.
Right, exactly.
But I don't know. I still feel like for me the biggest time Game Informer was in the news was when I still say this, Drew. I mean, remember the Arkham Knight article? Hey guys, Game Informer exclusive. We interview somebody at DC Comics, and they confirmed that Arkham Knight's going to have an original character as its villain, never seen before in comics. And then turns out it was just the fucking Red Hood.
Yeah, I mean, anything to add at all, Church, before I continue my memory lane?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have negative opinions about Game Informer. It just sucks. It's like one of those. I seen a quote on the internet. Well, it said, "You know, you're getting old when you go down the cereal aisle and your favorite cereal is no longer there," type of thing.
Oh man,
All the snacks, right?
Tricks are just circles now. What the fuck?
Right.
it's harder to find golden grams these days. It's hard. It's harder by the day. It's harder by the day.
Not my
And I love-
grams.
yeah.
And the Game Info for me was just one of those moments. Just it's before like I was a teenager, like when I was 8 or 9, or when I was growing up. It's like a core memory if you guys watched the movie Inside Out, because before there was like I lived in like rural Midwest, right? And I didn't really have internet cafes. I guess were common in like the city of Los Angeles. So we just had like magazines of books. Like I literally just had a Walmart in my town. But the point is, I've always liked magazines, but there was never a magazine for me as a kid that was like just for me. When game magazines, Game Informer was like the first one. I didn't think it was the best gaming magazine. It would always go to PlayStation because it came with a game demo every single time. When you bought it, it was a cool release that you can just, oh, here's a CD, you put it in, play the demos. But Game Informer was cool. I would collect them. I had stacks of Game Informer magazines because I love the cover art. Um, and then it was cool. So I'm sad to see it go, but I mean, I haven't bought a Game Informer magazine in years. It was cool. It's pre-internet, before IGN became like a thing where we got all the stuff, or cheat codes, or cheatcc.com. Do you guys remember that website?
Oh my God!
I
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Damn,
bro.
I'm old. Yep, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Those are a couple snapses that have not been that have not fired in a
Jesus.
long time.
I've heard you will refer to that website in probably over 10 years. That's wild.
You're right, bro. Because you were like, it was cool, man. It's what you did back in the day as a gamer, and this Game Informer was a part of that experience. So I'm sad to see it go, but we got better shit now, so on to better things. So.
Yeah, I honestly will say, like, when I got my consoles, I mean, the first one I got was Sega Genesis. I think it was a 16-bit one, and then I got the PlayStation 1. The only half of my gaming experience growing up before getting a PS2 really was getting playing games via demo through random subscriptions and magazines. Like I would buy magazines so I could play a demo. So I'm like killing two birds with one stone. Like I'm getting something to read because like my mom was like, "Yo, you have to read something." So I'm like, "Oh, read a fucking magazine," and then I'll have to have a demo to play as well. And we didn't have a whole lot of money around that particular time, and games were fucking expensive. So I played a lot of games that way, and that's how I was able to play games for a while until obviously life happened and got the PS2, and then like I went up from there, and I eventually bought my own shit. But that was a lot of my childhood. Was like the games that we had, I either borrowed them for a friend or I played them via magazine. So, I can't hate on those gaming magazines too much. It was just annoying for us to fucking sell it to keep our job, per what Arthur was saying. But yeah, I think Game Informer was just nice to have because they had really cool covers.
The best covers.
Yeah.
The Arkham
Yeah.
City cover is still I still remember it. That's
Oh, great.
the silhouette looking Batman looking left over the city.
Yeah.
I was just Jerrell said to cut you off. I was just about to say it. I don't want to end my note of like, yeah, fuck them. They're bad memories. I didn't want to. I was like,
that's old Gamers for Life. That's old Gamers for Life style.
I was like, my bad. Let me. I'm also chime in a little bit, but yeah, no, Joe. That was the one thing I was gonna say. Is Game Informer had again, I've been in reviews. They had like the best covers, especially in those like late 2010s era, like when we were working there, like I said, around Arkham City and all that. Especially the covers that were like it was almost, I'm not saying like Playboy, what do they call it? Like centerfolds, you mean, where it's just like it's like 3 pages of a cover. And like every now and again, like Joe, if you remember, I don't know if you knew this, but we had a coworker that would like because every now and then they'd have like a special series where it's like, oh, this game's coming out, we're gonna have 4 different covers. I don't know if you remember, we had some coworkers. It was really common. Coworkers and just fans would like get all of them and just like put them on, like frame them up.
Yeah. 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 I always wanted to do that, and I always forgot because I was like, oh, I got to work tomorrow on this. Never did it. But yeah, definitely. There were some really good ones. There were some really good ones.
God. Cheatcc.com still exists, bro.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They got like current stuff. Like,
wow.
Oh my God. I thought like the domain shut down, but it's still a thing.
they gotta be one of the longest running websites ever. That's crazy. Wow.
That's insane.
They outlasted Ask Jeeves.
Yeah. Oh hell. Oh my God. The older I get, the more I get reminiscing on
Hey kids, when the internet first existed, you'd ask a butler how to find stuff.
Yo, this is crazy. They seem to only have like 2 writers, bro. Like looking through the guys, like it's the same people. It's like
that started it. They're like, well, we got some money left. Let's try to
right. But it's like every article, this guy number 1, guy number 2, guy number 1, guy number 2 is the same.
Wow, that's
it'll be crazy if GTA 6 puts in old cheat codes for its campaign.
Right, that's insane. I mean, do cheat codes exist in video games anymore? Like, I don't even. I'm sorry, I'm derailing real quick, guys. My bad. Like,
that's all right.
We're all starting the nostalgia train. We've all jumped on.
I don't know. Yeah, I think there's some games that do, but very little. Very fucking little.
Every now and again, there'll be a game with like a cheat code menu or something. I forget, like either Enter the Gungeon or one of the roguelike games had a quote unquote cheat code, but all it was really is where to like update your checkpoint, because there's like different roguelike games. Every time you play it's different, but like you can slowly make progress where okay, there's room 1, room 2, and finally when you make it to room 10, there's like a perma checkpoint. There's like cheat codes to like automatically unlock like room 10, and this is a game I played like within this year or last year, so they're not to what we think of it, but they barely still exist. The remnants still exist, like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart had a big head mode. So again, that used to be like a previous cheat code or something used to have a lock. So some of its soul still lives.
Very interesting. All right, folks. Well, given that, I think that's going to wrap it up here for the Gamepass Day podcast. Of course, each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, one of those discussing all things games. Of course, I'd like to thank my co-hosts here, Arthur Thomas and Choich.
Yes, so.
Right on. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.